1960 election was one of the closest elections in U.S. history. The two main parties were the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. The Republicans' candidate was Richard Nixon, who was the favorite to win the election, with his experience in politics and having been the vice president for the previous two terms. The Democratic candidate was John F. Kennedy, who was considered the underdog because of his religion. This was considered an issue that he was Catholic because many voters were Protestant and believed he would just be listening to his Pope. Kennedy addressed this problem by promising a commitment to separation of church and state. Some other issues in the election were civil rights, age, and television. An issue that was related with civil rights was Martin Luther King Jr.'s arrest. Supporting King might have cost Kennedy votes in the South by taking a risk and showing his support for civil rights. With his actions, Kennedy called King's wife to offer help in securing her husband's safe release. After this, the African American vote strongly favored Kennedy for president and gave him the winning margin in many states. The other issue which Nixon mainly focused on was age and experience. Nixon stressed to the public his experience in politics from being a congressman representing California and being a vice president for the previous 8 years. He said, "We can't have a man leading us who is learning on the go." Kennedy's response was hiring Lyndon Johnson, who was much older and more experienced in the Senate. Television was also a very important factor in this election. The candidates agreed to both have debates televised across America. From the time period during World War II to the campaign for the election in 1960, the percentage of people who owned televisions in their homes rose from 11% to 88%. They said these debates were the turning point of the election. Kennedy would arrive for the debates well tanned and rested, while Nixon was recovering from a knee injury and looked more raggedy. The Democrats were telegenic and comfortable in front of the camera, while the Republicans were nervous, sweaty, and under the hot lights. This is probably why radio listeners thought the Republicans won the debates, and the much larger television audience believed Kennedy won the debate. At the end of the election, Kennedy and the Democrats won the election with 49.7% of the popular vote to Nixon's 49.5% and earned the Electoral College votes of 303 to Nixon's 219. The significance of this election was that it was the first time there was a Catholic president and the first time television would play a big role in the campaign of an election.